Welcome to the first televised Medivala senatorial debate. I'm your host and moderator, Unused Eras. I'm here with the three candidates for Medivala senator, whom I will introduce right now. Firstly, 20-term senator of Medivala, representing the National Anti-Imperial Party, Allegate. Secondly, King of Eldoria and commander of the Grand Armée, Wizard, representing the Traditionalist Party. And finally, political activist Shoob, who representing himself. Shoob will not be using a mic for the debate, so we will be using Coca to read his responses. We start the debate with a series of questions before we move on to the actual debate floor. Each candidate will have 1 minute to answer. The topics of today's debate are partisan politics, the military, government funds, foreign relations, government politics, freedom of speech, and lore. There will be one question for each topic. After this, we'll take a quick break, and then proceed to the debate floor, where candidates will be able to deliberate over the following topics: the Sense India tragedy, increasing tensions with mainland Vuperia, the Medievalan Constitution, term limits, immigration, and finally taxes. So without further ado, let's start the show. The order for answering questions starts with Allegate, then Wizard, and finally Shoob. With this being the first election to truly include political parties, it's important for the people to know the general essence of your group. Sum up the core essence of your party in 1 minute. For you, Shoob, sum up the core essence of your campaign. We will start with Allegate. Allegate?
Hello.
Hello. You have 1 minute to answer your question.
Yes. I'm a member of two parties. The VACP, because the NAIP doesn't exist anymore, and the Royalist Party of Lanatian. The Royalist Party is essentially a general group of people that want to keep things how they've been going so far, which is continuing our culture, but also reforming as needed to keep up with current technological and political advancement. The VACP is the Vuperian Anti-Corruption Party, and it has one goal, which is to remove corruption throughout all of Vuperia. And that's all.
All right, thank you very much. Now it is time for King Wizard to say the response. Wizard.
Sorry.
You need to respond to the question, Wizard. Do you want me to repeat it?
Yeah, my mic was muted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My bad. So, I'm running as the traditional party, which ironically does not cares about tradition, but it's not, conservative. And most of the goal is just to reform medieval and fix the many broken things currently, but also keep what we have that works. So the lore actually not change much there.
All right, is that your time?
Yeah.
All right. Next up is Shoob, who will be sending his answer via text. So, Shoob, when you're ready, please send that.
The call of my campaign is having a competent Lanatian administration that will properly be able to represent it on the Vuperian level. It is time to end the era of irrational and immature politicians in Lanatia and give it back to its people.
Great. All right. Thank you very much. We will now be moving to the second question. We will now be moving on to the second question, which is the following. The Medivalan military is a mighty force, being used to defend, attack, and sometimes intimidate adversaries. How will you use the military if elected? Allegate, you have 1 minute.
Right, I suppose I'm starting.
Yes.
I wouldn't say we use it to intimidate people. I mean, That's just a rude statement to make. But the military will probably be in the background for this next term if I am reelected, because I would like to focus more on diplomacy, alliances, and peace. Which I know sounds strange for me, but if we do end up in a war, like if San Francisco decides to attack us again, then it will be used to its full potential. Other than that, I'd prefer not to use it. That's all.
All right, thank you very much. Wizard, your answer?
For the army, something really, we can't just continue keeping the army just, because right now, as it's being used by our current senator, it's mostly used as a force to, push people around, which is far from what we should be doing. If I'm elected, I'll probably disband all of it to one cut cost, and because for once maybe people will, not see us as a military threat.
I see. All right, thank you very much. Next is Shoob. Shoob, when you're ready.
If I get elected, I will focus on making the military a defense force, only using it in situations of crisis. I will also focus on making the military an apolitical institution.
All right. Now on to the third question. Minivala's gold reserves currently hold 750,000 credits within them. How will you use that money for the betterment of Medivala? First on the list is Allegate. Allegate, you can go first. 1 minute.
Thank you. Most of that money, I'd say about 600,000 of the 700,000 credits in the district account, was provided by me. So, of course, I have plenty of plans for it. Which is, first off, I like to implement our own district UBI to give our citizens more money than just the regular UBI. And I'd also like to use it to purchase resources and fund any future projects when that spreadsheet comes back. So right now it's mostly just sitting around, but it is good to have that much sitting around because it will be needed eventually.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Wizard, your answer?
With the current state of the economy, let's be honest, there's nothing we can actually use money on. Like, we could buy, at some point, there was resource to buy, we could have stockpile for, use and sell it back. But right now, I think the best option is probably just, to keep it around. And the day we'll be able to use it, we'll have, an advance on people. Because right now, we could give money to everyone, but even there's nothing to spend it on yet. So I think right now the best plan is to just keep it around and not lose it, not wasting it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting opinion. Shoob, your response? You have 1 minute.
My administration will focus on keeping a budgetary surplus. If the stock market is revived, we could explore the possibility of a sovereign wealth fund, increasing Lanatia's influence in the European economy. Overall, the budget spending will focus on our already existing expenses.
All right. Time for the next question. Medivala currently has few allies within the mainland. As senator, what will you do to repair ties with enemies or strengthen ties with allies? Allegate, you have the floor. Your mic is muted, Allegate. All right, looks like the incumbent is unavailable right now, so we will be moving over to Wizard. Would you like me to repeat the question, or are you ready?
No, I'm fine. Well, let's be let's be honest. Currently, we don't have a diplomacy. Well, there's one, but it's catastrophic. It's dead. So I think it's not even repairing ties at this point. It's just what I would do is issue a blank statement and start something, and hope people can forget the Allegate era where it kinda ruined every single diplomacy we had.
Hmm.
That's all.
All right, Shoob, your response?
My administration's foreign policy on reconstructing our old alliances, the Allegate administration immaturely has absolutely wrecked our foreign diplomacy. In the long term, I wish I wish for the nation to become a center of international trade and a media in crises.
All right, thank you very much, Shoob. Next questions. Currently, free speech.
Wait.
Oh,
I would still like to answer that.
oh, of course. I apologize.
Yes.
We'll circle back to Allegate then. Allegate, you have the floor. 1 minute.
Thank you. Yes, I'm aware that a lot of things were messed up previously. But funnily enough, both your plans I already wanted to do and already set them in motion. I have contacted the senators of a few of the island districts in the hopes of reestablishing an island alliance because we are generally more separated from the mainland economically and politically. So, now that the PM election is over, I'd like to focus more on fixing our diplomacy, which is not going to be easy, but I believe I can do it with some help. And that is all.
All right. Thank you very much, Allegate. Next question. Currently, free speech is in a sort of limbo, with communism and anarchism being banned in Medivala. How will you approach freedom of speech once elected? Allegate, you have the floor.
Thank you. Those ideologies were banned about 2 months ago, and we actually held a vote, and it was tied. But because of the power that the emperor holds, High King, holds in this district, it was decided that it would be banned. But I am sort of considering revoking that. I'm also considering fixing our constitution to allow more democracy on the written page than just what I decided to make happen.
I see. All right. Next up is Wizard. Wizard?
Well, during the Senate, I actually was against banning communism or anarchism because let's be honest, it wouldn't with the way the system with the district works, it probably would not be something bad if somehow it happened. But currently, it should not be banned. That's pretty much my whole statement. If I will unban it.
I see. All right. Thank you. Moving on. Shoob, your response? You have 1 minute.
Free speech is a fundamental human right that shall not be infringed. Though it is concerning that the royal family has so much influence in the legislative process within Laslatia.
All right. Thank you very much. We will now be moving on to the final question for our Q&A portion. Lore is something that can either bring a community together or apart. How will you build on the lore that we have now in Medievala? Allegate, you have the floor.
I find it ironic that I have to answer this, considering this entire district was built by me, and I've written the entirety of the three of the longest wiki pages on the entire fandom wiki are written by me for the district. And I have also written lore for other districts. And because of this, I can very easily add more stuff that would fit in with the current lore that we have quite well. So, yeah, if you want to know what I can do for lore, just look at the district. And there you go.
All right, thank you very much. Wizard, your response? 1 minute.
I'll be honest, look, for the lore, I don't believe the senator should, be the one doing it. When, like, if I win, I would leave the lore to Allegate because, let's be honest, he knows what he's doing. He's good at it, and I probably wouldn't be able to do something like him. So, I think I'll just leave it to someone that knows what he's doing, and has did a really good job at it.
All right, interesting perspective. Shoob, your response? 1 minute.
First of all, I believe that we can't continue on centering Lanatia's RP on horniness. Second of all, I believe that we should have contests for writing law open to all Lanatian citizens, and we need to revive Menialism war within Lanatia.
I see. All right, thank you. And in the future, Shoob, you are allowed to start writing once the question is asked. That way we don't have such a silence. All right. We have ended the Q&A portion of the debate. Once we get back, we'll go on to the debate floor to discuss the Sansandia tragedy, increasing tensions with mainland Vuperia, the Medievalan constitution, term limits, immigration, and taxes. We'll be right back. And we're back on the debate floor with Shoob, Wizard, and Allegate. The debate floor works a little differently. The incumbent will answer the question, and the two other candidates will respond to the incumbent's questions in whichever way they choose. Allegate will have 1 minute to answer, with each other candidate having 30 seconds to respond. Allegate will then have 30 seconds for rebuttal. The first question is following the Sansandia tragedy, what efforts did you make to assist the people of Sansandia? Allegate, you have 1 minute.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I ordered the retaliation against the VSS ship. I made contact with them, or tried to. I immediately contacted the VSS and the Cooperian Senate and established an idea of what was going on. And then after the tragedy, I ordered the Lanatian police force to help out, help fix that. And I do remember that you actually went there personally.
Yes, I did.
I
Yes, I did.
unfortunately not, because I was busy with politics, sadly. But thoughts and prayers went out.
Yes, indeed. Thoughts and prayers. All right, 30-second rebuttal. 30-second response from Wizard and Shoob. You are not responding to the question. You're responding to Allegate's response. Wizard, you're up first.
I mean, there isn't much to say. He did what a senator should do. He dealt with the issue of the situation. Let's say it like this, and I think a good way. And I don't believe there was something. Maybe we shouldn't have blown up the boat. Maybe we could have tried something less aggressive.
I see. All right, your time's up. Shoob, your response.
I would like to say that I've received information from insider sources stating that the VSS was notified only when Sandia was being bombed, not to mention that Allegate has failed to do anything to compensate the victims.
I see. Interesting development. Your rebuttal, Allegate, to these claims. 30 seconds, starting once you begin talking.
Well, to be honest, I think destroying the ship was sort of our only option. The VSS had made attempts to contact them, and the Senate had also tried, and clearly they were rogue and were not going to stop anytime soon. So destroying the ship was our only option.
I see. All right, thank you, Allegate. Moving on to the next question. Second question. Increasing tensions between us and the mainland could escalate into a full-on war. How are you dealing with this issue? Allegate, you have 1 minute.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I had to look away for a second.
Of course. Increasing tensions between us and the mainland could escalate into a full-on war. How are you dealing with this issue?
Well, I don't know anyone who's saying that. I certainly hope it doesn't escalate into a full-blown war with the mainland. I mean, I'm trying to do diplomacy and peace, and that would certainly prevent that. I'd say the situation is over and will not escalate at all, because the VSS is in agreement with our actions, and as such, there should be no conflict.
I see, all right. Wizard, 30 seconds to respond.
I hope we don't, there's no, I hope there won't be a war. I know I'll try, and I'm also, doing everything to not have the current senator start a war again. And I honestly don't believe it will like explode into a full-blown war.
All right. Thank you very much. Shoob, you have the floor. 30 seconds.
Yet Allegate's erratic behavior proves otherwise. If your administration has good intention, why hasn't it been more mature when handling our diplomacy? Why don't we have allies with anymore?
All right. Thank you very much. Now for the rebuttal from Allegate. 30 seconds.
Yes. Shoob, you ask, why don't we have allies anymore? But do you not recall how much time and effort I spent getting our alliance with San Fabrizio just for them at the last moment when we were finally in a war for them to betray us, switch sides, and leave us standing alone against the Kogi district? That is why we do not have any alliances right now, because all our allies betrayed us.
All right. 30 seconds. I will. Because of the request, I will grant Shoob the ability of a rebuttal. You have 30 seconds to respond.
What about Avalon? You ended our alliance with them for barely any reason, only to make an alliance with San Francisco. And I'm not only talking about San Francisco. There's more districts out there that we can work with.
I will accept Algate's request for a rebuttal. You have 30 seconds, starting now.
Thank you. Shoob, very sorry, but you must have missed the previous few questions where I stated that I was going to work on creating an island alliance, and that I am already talking with senators who seem more than happy to consider joining. For example, I've talked with, well, I suppose Jambon hasn't exactly replied officially yet, but I am working on talking to Jambon.
30 seconds have ended, Algate. I am sorry. Shoob, do you wish to make a rebuttal? Yes, you do. All right. Shoob, your response. I will start the timer once you start talking.
You are actively contradicting yourself. You said that other districts are glad to cooperate with us, only to say that Jampon hasn't approved anything yet, immediately afterwards.
All right. This will be the final word in this question. I'll give Allegate 1 minute to finish up. Uh, Allegate, 1 minute.
Thank you. Jambon was just one example that I'm making. I have also talked with others, and of course, it is a slow process as time zones exist and people tend to be asleep. But I am working on it, and so far there's been 0 rejection, which I say is a good start for us. That is all.
All right, thank you. In light of our short time, we'll be moving on to the next question, which is the following. The Medieval Constitution has had many clauses that give you a lot of power within Medieval. Okay. What is the reasoning behind this, and how does it benefit Medieval? You have 1 minute.
Yes, that's mostly a relic of a year ago. And as I said, I'm considering ways to make it more democratic on paper instead of just democratic in practice. Which, I mean, it's great and all that we're democratic in practice, but if we get a different senator, then it's probably best that we actually have it on paper too, so that nothing funky can happen. And the reasoning for it was a year ago, we were a dictatorship in practice and on paper. But obviously that has changed, as is shown just by us being here at this very debate. And I think probably over the next week or so, I'm going to work with Paula Kings to revise some sections of it. And I know you especially have some sections you want to revise, or
That is definitely true, and your time is up. Now for the response from Wizard. Wizard, you have the floor. 30 seconds.
The current constitution there was a new update written by Allegate recently, which is literally a power grab, giving way too much power to, well, his position as a High King and as a part of the royal family. That's pretty much literally exactly how he used the Emperor title, like a year ago, to get more power for himself out of nowhere. So yeah, the constitution needs probably to literally be burned down and rewriting it completely, because right now it is just giving way too much power to, well, the royal family, even if they are not elected.
And that's time. Thank you very much, Wizard. Shoob, your response? 30 seconds, starting when you talk.
It is ironic how you claim to be campaigning against the powers of the Emperor, only for the Constitution to grant you insane powers that are comparable to what the Emperor has. You're the definition of double standards.
All right. I am granting Algate's request for rebuttal. You have 30 seconds. Algate.
first off, I'd like to point out, it was very easy to hear you smiling while saying that, Coca. Second off, yeah, you're probably right, and I should probably fix that, which is what I said I was going to do. And you're probably like, oh, it's just promises, but I keep my promises. And I promise to fix this weird constitution.
And that's time. I will be granting Wizard a rebuttal now, because Shoob already talked, and after that, Shoob will speak. Wizard, you have the floor. 30 seconds.
That's the issue. The thing is, you wrote it. You can't just come in, write something, read it, and decide to do it. Then, when people complain, say, yeah, I'm going to fix it. You can't do that. That's not how it works. And the first time you shouldn't have, write something that literally gives you emperor level power that you criticize.
All right. Next up is Shoob, who will also have 30 seconds when he starts talking. Shoob, you have the floor. Ready when you are.
we trust you to give more power to the people? If you wrote the constitution that gave you these powers, do you think that the people of Lanesia have a memory comparable to that of a goldfish?
All right. The final word will be to Allegate, who has 1 minute to respond. Allegate, you may start.
Yes. When I first wrote that constitution, as I said, it was a year ago, and the political situation in both Lanesia and Vaperia was very different. But that constitution has stuck around for the past year as things have evolved, have progressed, and changed. And now I believe it is certainly necessary to change it, as the citizens have requested change recently. And as senator, it is my duty to listen to the citizens.
All right. We have some extra time, so I will be granting Wizard the final say in this topic. I will grant you 1 minute. Wizard.
I
You have the
just
floor.
want to say something that the constitution that was supposedly a year was updated 4 days ago, which means in the last 4 days when he changed it somewhere, he still kept it that way. And still decided to keep the the power to himself and not give much. That's it. Just want to clarify this.
Alrighty. I'm sorry, Allegate. I cannot grant a rebuttal. We have to go on to the next topic. I'm sorry, Allegate. We gotta go on to the next topic. That topic being term limits. Term limits are common throughout politics. However, you've managed to stay in power for around 20 terms. Do you think that political offices should have term limits? And if not, why? You have the floor, Allegate. 1 minute.
Right. I think it's obvious what my answer will be. I think that we don't really need term limits. Because, for one thing, I think Vaperia would kill us if we tried to do it because it's against the Constitution. For another thing, if the people of Lanesia continually elect one senator, then that senator is probably doing an okay job. Especially with how this district is, where, I mean, it's very cutthroat. You will not survive if you don't do well. So, two factors really. The fact that if you keep getting elected, you're doing good, and also the fact that Vaperia will kill us because it goes against the Constitution.
All right. Next up is Wizard. Your response? 30 seconds, starting when you speak.
That's like really simple. If people keep voting for you, then this means you're doing good. So I believe the way term limit as senator mostly are like dictated by the people when they stop voting for you because you fucked up somewhere. So I don't believe we should implement one. That's it.
All right. Shoob, it's your turn, starting when you speak.
I think we should use a system where a senator can have 4 consecutive terms, have a break of 1 term where he isn't allowed to candidate and be allowed to candidate again afterwards.
All right, I see. Thank you. Uh, I don't really see a need for a rebuttal here. Do you wish to skip your rebuttal this time, Algate, or do you want to rebut?
I do not believe there's a need for a rebuttal.
All
I
right,
would
we will.
like to point out that currently, no, I do want to say something. Currently, members, actually, the governor of San Francisco is in Lanatian saying bad things about me. And you wonder why we have bad relations.
All right. Next question. Ooh, this is the second to last question. Immigration has led to more than 30 people being members of our proud district. How do you plan to maintain this growth? Olga, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. This growth is mostly, it has a tendency to do sharp jumps and then flatline for a bit. Mostly because it depends on when new people are joining, and they don't join in a constant stream. However, throughout the past few months, I have consistently been recruiting anyone I can to the district, and we do have a lot of population, which means it is working. So I just like to continue what I've been doing. Oh, and I did make the recruitment channel in Lanatian, which is available for any citizens to post recruitment posters and ads, and citizens can use those ads.
All right. Next up is Wizard. Wizard, your response?
I think for the greater good that we shouldn't keep getting everyone, not getting everyone like trying to recruit as much, because at the end we'll just end up being like one district with everyone and no one to interact with. So I think we should maybe not lock everything and stop, but I think we should try to help other districts to get more people so they can do something and not just exist as a place with the name. That's all.
All right. All right, Shoob, your turn. Your response. 30 seconds, starting when you speak. The stream ladder. All
There
right.
isn't much to comment about this. Lanatian will always be a place open for everyone.
All right. Thank you very much. I've heard from the technical crew that they'd like the stream to be louder, so I've turned it up. I hope everyone's okay with that. And I don't feel a need here for a rebuttal, so we'll skip the one for this question and move on to our final question. Taxes. How do you plan to tax people within the district now that Jacob's finished the coding? I feel like, yeah, 1 minute.
Well, I did hold a poll with the citizens to decide the tax rate, and it was decided that the UBI tax would be 5%. I have no idea if Jacob's coded this because he has said he has, and he also said he hasn't several times. And it would be nice if he would give me a solid response for once. But that is the only tax that I believe we will be implementing because we have a lot of funds in the district already.
All right, Wizard, your response?
Well, currently, as the government, we don't have there's no spending, there's no cost to keep the district running. So for now, until we actually have cost, I don't think we should tax people, because we would just accumulate money, which we already have. We have 700,000. The day we'll need it to start paying for things, then we should start taxing people. But right now, I think we can have people enjoy tax-free life.
All right, thank you. Next on the docket is Shoob. Shoob. Timer starts when you start talking.
If it's possible, I think we should only tax the UBI of inactive people. When the economy will actually be functioning, I think we should keep the overall tax rate low.
All right. We finished our round of debates. A round of applause for the candidates, and now we move on to the final remarks. Each candidate will receive 2 minutes to talk about, I guess, whatever they want as a closing. We will start with Allegate, and then move on to Wizard, and then finally Shoob. Allegate, you have the floor. 2 minutes.
Thank you. I actually don't have much else to say other than currently working on alliances and diplomacy, and hopefully that will put us in a better position on the global stage. And other than that, I'm just going to spend the next term fixing our constitution, fixing our laws, and hoping that Jacob and Coca don't sue us over any changes we make.
All right. Good job. Next on the docket is Wizard. Wizard, 2 minutes.
Well, I think we already said much, but to make it simple, I mostly run for making the district not collapse because of our terrible relations with everyone. That's really why I'm running, and I think that's it.
All right, thank you. Shoob, your final response. You will have the final word of the day before we sign off. All right. I guess we'll skip Shoob for now, and we'll return to him at the end of the show. Uh, you want me to wait? All right. All right. We'll wait a little bit more. All right. In the meantime, enjoy the lovely sound of the Medievalan choir. And we are back. Shoob is ready. He has the floor. Shoob, you have 2 minutes.
possible, I think we should only tax the UBI of inactive people. When the economy will actually be functioning, I think we should keep the overall tax like low. That was an old statement, sorry. I wanted to say something about the Sandia tragedy. Allegate has failed to take any meaningful action on it after this incident. I want to ask the people of Lanatian that before they go to the polls, they think at least once before voting about who's representing them. Do they want an immature establishment autocrat or someone new and rational that will fix the damage said autocrat has done? As a last word, here's a quote from the Romanian monarch: "Everything for the country, nothing for me. Have a great day."
All right, thank you very much, Shoob. And we have reached the end of our debate. I'd like to thank Koga from the Ministry of Media Affairs for allowing us to run this on the Period National Television, and as well as voicing Shoob in this debate. I'd like to thank Donia for purchasing 3 ad slots, Lanatia for purchasing 2 ad slots, and the candidates for giving us this incredible first televised Medivala senatorial debate. Thank you very much, and I'll see you